Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your amazing response to my podcast. As you all know, I started this YouTube channel to spread the knowledge related to education, health, and lifestyle. And on this auspicious day, that is Guru Purnami Day, I am honored and privileged to have my Guru, Professor D. Lalita Bhaskari Madam, who guided me for PhD and who molded me in all the ways to be a nice citizen in this country. And I'm really thankful to Professor Dr. D. Lalita Bhaskari Madam for accepting my invitation and joining this podcast. Thank you so much, Madam. It's really a great honor to have you. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. So, as per Indian culture, we treat our Guru as God. And definitely, Guru shows us the right path. So today we have one of the greatest academician who has guided so many research scholars in getting their research degrees. Not only in getting their research degrees, Madam guides in the best possible manner to implement best practices in the research area. To introduce Madam in this short span of 30 minutes of time is like showing ocean in the mirror. So it's impossible for me. I can only say I am the humble Shishya of Professor D. Lalita Bhaskar Madam, and I will be very grateful to Madam for giving me the doctorate degree and helping me a lot in the time of research journey. So, Madam presently is working as a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Systems Engineering. She is the chairman of BOS and she has lots of busy schedule. Even then she accepted my invitation and has attended this podcast to guide us all to do the research in the best possible manner. We all have the dream to do research. Students have the dream, PG scholars have the dream, and obviously PhD scholars too have the dream to do the research. But what is the best strategy? What are the best practices to do the research? Madam will definitely guide us in this half an hour of time. And I request all of you to kindly follow this podcast for these 30 minutes very keenly from beginning to ending. And if you really like it, do like, share, and comment and follow it in your life. Definitely, you will be successful researcher. Thank you so much, madam. It is nice to have you. Madam, I have a doubt. Thank you so much, madam. So I have a doubt regarding this research work, madam. How to initiate the research work?
So, Rajesh, first of all, thank you for inviting me on this auspicious day. And let me also thank my gurus, whereas you have aptly rated Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. First of all, for every student, this should be etched in their minds that Guru is above all. Guru is the one who can lead us from darkness to light. Have that faith in you without no other second thought. And you do whatever you do, you will be a successful candidate, whether it be research, life, or your job, or whatever it is. So, now coming to the question which you have asked, what is it? What is the research problem?
Yes,
Isn't
madam.
it?
Start the research task and what are the best practices to start it?
Okay, okay. So, see, the whatever I am telling, they are not what do you call not strict rules which are to be followed, but guidelines, mostly guidelines, which I have followed, and I have been telling my students also to follow. Okay, so if at all you go to any professor or any guru or whoever it is, most probably they will be telling all these things only. But one thing is, whenever you want to do research, either he or she, any student, you have to be prepared for that particular task of doing research. Okay, we tell it in Sanskrit like Shodhana, Parishodhana, Shodhana. Shodhana means you have to have that mind in the subconscious level that, okay, I have to do this. I have to find out the research, or I have to find out the findings. Either it could be done by earlier researchers, or if at all you want to do a new research. So, in that particular path, so you have many definitions for research. If at all you open up the dictionary and all, but actually what exactly is research is what? It's a systematic approach, isn't it? It is a systematic approach for obtaining and getting some information. Okay, be it in any field, be it in medicine, engineering, or education, or management, or languages, or whatever it is. So research is the systematic approach which anyone should follow. So while doing research, the first thing question comes to the mind of any researcher is, what should I do and which area should I do? Isn't it? So for that, you have to be focused and be specific. You have to focus. The problem should be narrow enough. Say, for example, see, because I'm a computer science professor, so I will be telling with respect to computer science here. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, say suppose for example, if at all you come to you want to do research in computer science, which nowadays is the hot cake for many of the in the engineering discipline, there are many areas like security, hardware, software, okay, machine learning, computer vision, artificial intelligence. Like this, you have many branches in computer science. Okay, first of all, I always tell my students that you have to identify the flair in yourself. Like everyone, they will be interested in one topic or the other. Say I was, and I am also interested in security part and computer vision part. Okay, if at all I don't know you remember or not, you also, I have also asked you also to tell me in which real area. See, because my area of interest might be security, but inherently you might not be 100% or at least 60% interested in security. You might be interested in some other language, like say machine learning. So I always ask my students, what is the area which really makes you feel comfortable, rather? Okay, so identify such type of field. Either it could be security, say with respect to computer science, I'm telling. Say either software engineer, software coding part, or developing a new software or a new operating system. Okay, or hardware side, nowadays IoT, all these things are coming. So identify the flair in yourself, and then try to narrow down. See, from computer science, say you have come to security part. Now, from security part, again dive deep into that. Now, in security, you have information security, system security, device security, data security, isn't it? Cyber security is now one important thing. So, in that, again, you just want to you identify which one you are interested in. In one day, you're not going to identify all these things. Don't be in a hurry and in a haste. Okay, take some time. Take some time. Okay, and then try to be specific, and then be clear. Don't involve in or don't have any sort of unambiguity in that. Okay, now say suppose I want to do in security and I want to do in hardware, or I want to do in some management. Not that, be specific, and the problem statement should be easily understood. Okay, so there should not be any misinterpretation or whatever it is. That is another thing. And another important category, or rather I would call it as characteristic, is feasibility. Whatever problem you want to identify or you have identified, by narrowing down your area and then identifying a problem, it should be feasible. Okay, Feasible in this should be realistic. Okay, not some fancy problem statements or whatever it is. Because while doing research, you should have or you will need access to many resources, data, okay, and all these particular things, and human beings or your fellow researchers or whatever. So feasibility should be there. Now, say suppose for example, suddenly I want to do research in the space thing. How many satellites are there in the space or revolving around the sun? And nowadays, the one more very important area of research in space field is collecting debris in space. Okay, so now with my knowledge and this particular resources right now, I should not either guide my students or not myself. So no, I want to go to I want to do research in space regarding how much debris or how many kilos of debris has been collected in space. No, at this particular juncture, might be a few years later, I might gain knowledge in that. But at this particular time, it is not feasible for me, isn't it? Because while doing research, you need to have access to lots of data. Okay, so that is a feasible issue. And try to do research in which is relevant. Relevancy is another important thing. Okay, which is right now, which is now say AI is a relevant field in computer science. So do it. Okay, now there is no point in again going and writing a software code for 8085 microprocessor or 805, something like that. So relevancy should be there. And once you have done all this, it should be researchable topic. Okay, it should be as I've told you, feasible, and it should be investigated through some research method, empirical research methods. Okay, so this is one thing. And obviously, above all, you should have novelty in the problem. Some new concept should be there in the problem. And personally, what I feel is, not me, many of the professors of feel, ethics. Ethics should be there. Not only in research, in any area or anything. In your day in, day out life, also you should have ethics. So ethics also plays an important role. But in fact, in research area also, in fact, we have a subject called research methodology. Okay, where every PhD student, it's compulsory for them to study that subject and write. In that also, I think you have studied ethics. Ethics in doing research. Okay, not intruding into others research, copying that research, publishing without their knowledge or without properly acknowledging them, all these things. Okay, so ethics are all as also very important. So these are a few things, okay, for doing or to start your thing.
Thank you so much. That was really great to know those parameters. And madam, we all know that finding out the research problem is the biggest challenge for any researcher. So, what do you suggest? How to find it? How to find a good research problem?
How to find a good research problem? Yes, in fact, this is also a very good question. That is the main thing. As I told you, first of all, identify the area which you are interested in. Okay, which you are interested in, which will be close to your heart. Okay, now people might ask, madam, say I am there, I am computer science professor, and I have done my research. By the way, I have done my research in the area of steganography and digital watermarking. Then I'll just like to quote one of my gurus. My guru is Professor P.S. Avadhani Garu, who has served as principal of AU Engineering College and all, and he is my guide. When the same question, when I have registered for my PhD, I went and told, sir, I will do research in theory of computation. Then my professor asked, my guru asked, why, what made you to say like that? I told, sir, I have taught that subject for 2 times. Then he told, just because you have taught a subject or you have heard a name, you cannot do research in that. Okay? So, and all these things he told, relevancy, novelty, feasibility, and all this particular stuff. So, like that, first of all, you explore your interest. my interest, then I started exploring. Then I thought, okay, fine, theory of computation. Just because I told it for 2 times, it doesn't mean that I can do or I will be successful in doing the research in that. In fact, I know. I mean, I'm not aware, but many of the people who the audience who are listening, theory of subject computation is a bit dry subject. No doubt, it is a very important subject in the field of computer science, but it is a bit dry subject. Then what I thought was, then I started exploring. Then security came into my mind. Security was my next thing. So fine, in computer science, security. And then in security, what? It's also a vast thing, isn't it? So then, in those times, currency fraud, those times in the sense somewhere around 2015, 2005 to 2005, I think. I completed my PhD somewhere in 2009. So 2000, early 2000s, and so fraud currency, fake currency notes, that was the biggest problem, not only for personal, for the government also. Okay, so then see here, you link up the events. So then I thought it should be relevant, it should be useful, it should be useful to the society, it should be relevant in that particular thing. And then I thought I'll jump and I will do into security, and I thought of doing it in the field of digital watermarking. So my interest was, first of all, you explore your interest, which subject you are interested in. Then once you're interested in, then what I did, I started exploring or reviewing the literature, which is a very, very important phase of any researcher is literature review. We call it as review of literature or literature study, whatever it is. So familiarize yourself. Okay, what are the latest techniques, or what is the research in that particular field already done, and what is going on, so that to keep abreast of yourself about this particular thing. Okay, so review the existing literature. And nowadays, thanks to internet, nothing is hard. You can get any earlier library. We used to go to I mean, myself, I am a sandwich between the earlier era and this era. I have only 20%, 20 to 20, 30% I have gone to the library, because library and sorry, 20 to 30% I have used the internet, and the rest of the thing I have reviewed literature. I went to the library, I bought some books, okay, attended conferences, okay, read many articles. That is how I have done. Nowadays internet is just in a click of a button for everyone, so it's not a problem for finding out the articles or literatures or whatever it is. And then once you do the literature and you study the future scope of the papers and all, okay, latest papers, you identify the gaps, the research gaps. So then once you identify these particular research gaps, then you really discuss with your guide. See, at the end of the day, your guru or your guide's permission and his consent is very important, because both of you have to sail in the same boat. And your guide, no doubt, their experience and their knowledge will be of help to you, isn't it? So identify that and discuss the idea with your guru as frequently as possible, or with your co-scholars. You'll be having co-scholars or co-researchers around the world. Nowadays you have communities, forums, isn't it? So then I have enrolled myself in digital watermarking forum. Okay, so everyone, they will be posting their ideas, their things and all. Okay, then feasibility, as I told you, feasibility, you have the feasibility, you come out with the resources. You don't have resources, you will be taking some time, but don't go step back. Once you feel that really it is feasible and it is relevant and novelty is there, you can do it. So once you have done that, refine again the problem. Refine, then focus, refine, focus. That is what is researching is. And then you can come out with a particular thing. But don't confine your idea within yourself. Discuss with others. Discuss with others. Then once, see, anyone who wants to do the PhD means they have a certain level of IQ and they are already into that particular thing. So it doesn't take much amount of time also. If at all you are really focused. Okay, and you really want to do a your research, you think about all these things and then start your work.
Yes, ma'am. I have a doubt here in the sense you have guided so many computer science students, you have made them publish in reputed journals like Scopus, SEA, and far more better than those journals. So you have vast experience in
Yes.
guiding all the students in getting through the best possible journals. So I have a doubt in this aspect, like how to choose the best journal, madam, for the publication.
Ha. How to choose the best journal? Yes. See, first of all, once you have registered, say, assuming that you have got a guide and you are doing the research under his or her guidance and all, and your idea and your problem has been formulated, and you have done some literature review, and you have found out some new findings, say for example. Okay. So then, in the research field or in the research world, whenever you find out any new findings or thing, you have to publish it. Publication of journals is one of the important, or it is at most important factor for any researcher. Okay. So now here the next question every one of us will next question we will get into our mind is which journal and how do I authenticate, or what is authenticity of that particular journal, isn't it? So as per Andhra University, or rather majority UGC guideline, Scopus indexed journals, they are nothing but, see, I don't purely mention Scopus, peer reviewed journals. Okay, peer reviewed journals are those journals which you have to publish a paper. Or in order to make it even more precise, say Scopus, SCI, ESCI journals. Okay, they are, or Web of Science. Okay, all these are the journals which you have to publish. Open access also is there. Few universities they accept, and few it's up to their own thing. Okay, so now like this, you have to publish your journals in which have majority researchers consent. Okay, now say suppose for example we tell IEEE, ACM, isn't it? Nature. All these are what? They are all well established over years. They are well established. And researchers, they feel pride in getting their papers published in such type of journals. Okay. So now the next question is what is, how do I know which journal? Now just go to the Scopus sites or ICM or IEEE website. And then in which particular field you are in. Say you want to publish a paper in computer science. So just go and browse the computer science journals. There are a few journals specific to say like security. International Journal of Network Security, International Journal of Multimedia Networking, IEEE Transactions on Network. Like this, you have many number of journals. Now, say suppose initially you did not do a work worth publishing in such high impact factor journals. Okay, don't get disheartened. There are journals which you will be published, peer reviewed journals in which you can publish. Just go through the websites, okay, or go through these things which I have told now. List out a few journal names which are relevant to your topic. Now, say I'm doing research in security, and I can't go and publish this in some language journals or whatever it is, isn't it? Or in some psychology thing. So, relevancy you see, and download all those journals. Next is, once you have identified a few journals, go to each and every journal's website. Okay. Now, say suppose I've told you just International Journal of Computer Networks and Security. Now go Google it. Go to the website, journal's website. Check the editorial board. Check the impact factor. Check the volumes, how many issues they have given. Okay. Now, yes, another thing you have, just because the question you have raised, be very careful. Nowadays, cloning, journal cloning has become a very common practice nowadays, which is very unethical. But unfortunately, it has grown up like anything. Okay, so researchers, they have to be very careful in choosing their journals. If you don't know, don't feel shy. Go and ask, talk with your guide or your co-scholars. Nowadays, I am astonished. There are third party companies which call you and they tell that we will help you in publishing journals and all this. Okay, taking help is different, and then totally what do you call, following some unethical means is different. Okay, take help, but these people, what they are telling is, you give the money and we will publish, which is, I personally and majority of them, they do not accept. It is an unethical means in the research field. There itself you are failed as a researcher. Okay, so first of all, identify the journals, go to their websites, check the editorial board. Okay, do all sorts of reconnaissance, so with respect to that particular journal, and then check for the impact factor, the citations, and all this. Okay, in order to make, in India we have something called as IRINS. IRINS is Indian Researchers Network, I think. I mean, I forgot the full name. IRINS, it's an initiative by InfibNet, Government of India. Okay, wherein you will be finding network of, it's nothing but IRINS is a network of Indian researchers. Okay, wherein once you create your own login and all, you can just see, based upon your interest, lakhs and lakhs of researchers. It's a very good initiative by Government of India for the researchers. Okay, wherein you can connect with other network researchers. Okay, and there, once you go to a particular, say now suppose you have browsed my page or my profile, in there somewhere or the other you will be getting my papers published, and in which paper in which journal I have published. So catch such type of names. Okay, and then go to the websites, check, do, and then do. But do not unnecessarily pray for all these false things. Nowadays the trend is Scopus. They are keeping it active for 3 months and they are again deactivating it. They're collecting money, publishing it. Once the issue has been there, they are closing that particular journal. So be very careful not to fall prey for such type of things, and then do all these checks. Okay, that is one thing.
Yes, ma'am. So, madam, under your guidance, I could get Best Paper Award in one of the esteemed conference. So, I wanted to know my audience. Like, I want to make my audience know, like, what makes a best paper, madam? So, what are the attributes of a best paper?
Yes. See, as we have discussed in the first thing, once you have identified your area, novelty should be there in your findings. If at all you remember, I think your best paper thing which you have got, that is also for Ayurvedic classification using tensor flow. I think, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So the novelty there matters. Novelty. Okay. So you have classified Ayurvedic leaves using tensor flow, TFUs. Why? What is the novelty in that? Using TFUs, tensor flow networks or tensor flow units, because whenever you talk about multimedia data, the space will be huge, isn't it? The storage capacity will be huge. And at that time, what resources we had were very less when compared to when we didn't have a GPU then. But for you, processing your huge data needed GPU. So what you have done, you done it with the help of TFUs and all. And your efficiency, the accuracy was 99 something, isn't it? So the novelty there. So for good paper, first thing is the topic or the area subject, and another thing, the writing style. Be very clear in your findings. Don't beat about the bush. Okay, whatever you want to specify, pinpointedly specify it. The writing style is another important. The flow in which a paper goes, say abstract, introduction, literature survey, background information, what methodology you have used, or what is the algorithm or the system requirements which you have used, followed by the methodology, your results, and findings. Okay, so this particular flow is also important, and originality of the work, originality of your work. So all these things, your paper style or your writing style. See, every author, he or she, they have their own writing style. Okay, so follow the general guidelines. It doesn't mean that writing style, it doesn't mean that you have to write stories in the paper. No, the way you present, the articulation is very important. Okay, and then usually any paper or conference, they have their own formatting styles. The first thing is, the basic thing is, you have to follow their formatting styles. So according you do that, they follow your basic, the journal or conference or whatever it is style. And another thing is the way you present there, the way you present, physical mode or online mode or whatever it is, the way you present, how confidently you present your findings, and the novelty. Okay, the research. So all these attributes, they help us in giving you the best out of your work. And above all, again I tell you, do your work and rest you leave it. Okay, and ethics should be followed. No copy paste. No copy paste. Okay, so don't do that. So with all these things, no doubt anyone can achieve it.
Regarding patenting of the work, nowadays students are very much keen in
Pardon?
patenting the work, madam. Patenting. Work patent.
Patent. Okay.
So,
Patent.
yes, madam. So, what exactly is the relevancy of patent to research? Is it required? And what effectiveness should be there in the patent?
Yes. Nowadays it is very much required. Nowadays the whole publish at earlier, when we were doing our research, the slogan was publish or perish. Now it is patent or perish. Okay, patents should be done. Should be done. And see, now in the last 5 or 6 years, the government of India has taken many initiatives to give or to educate the academia or the industries about patenting. About patenting. Okay, we in India, we have lots of scope for. We are knowledgeable guys. Okay, many people are there who do their works, or they who have invented very beautiful and very simple, easy life tricks. Okay, but because they didn't know what patenting was or whatever it is, many have gone without, many have gone unnoticed. Okay, so Indian government, in fact, DPIIT, it is something called Department of Patenting and Information, DPIIT, we call it as. So the DPIIT, through DPIIT, they have created many awareness programs for patenting. How to patent, what to patent, when to patent. Okay, these things are there. And if at all your research is really noble and you have done real good work, you can publish a patent, and within a few years it will undergo all the process like examination and all, and it will be granted. And I'm very happy to share on this particular platform that, and like you, I have another student. I have many research scholars, and every one of them have contributed in one way or the other. And I have another research scholar, and myself at that particular school, one of our patents got granted also for 20 years. Okay, so what we have done is the algorithm or the methodology which we have adopted. It's in security in cloud computing. Okay, so he has devised a methodology. It has worked well, and we have published it. And after that, we have gone for examination, questionnaire process, everything. Patent office is doing all. So once we have passed all this, patent will be okay. So nowadays, the researcher, if they feel that their research is really good, they no doubt they have to go for patenting. And now it's not at all a tough process. Anyone can go through IPO website, or in Andhra University we have an IPR chair. They can go there, find out the procedures, and with minimal fee you can patent.
The highly successful IQAC director for 100-year-old university, Andhra University, and you created a history in this aspect. And I wanted to know what exactly is IQAC and how could you lead our university to the grand success in terms of NAC accreditation and NBA and all the other accreditations. Please let us know.
You have really touched one of my most favorite duties which I have done for my university. And I really humbly submit that this is God's gift to me, and I'm very lucky to serve such a magnanimous university. Okay, as you have told, 100-year-old university where Sir C.V. Ramanji, okay, all such Radha Krishnan garu. I have photos of Sir Rabindranath Tagore's ji. Many stalwarts who have visited Andhra University, and I have stepped into Andhra University and I have made a place for myself in this great university. Yes, as you have told, I have worked for 7 years, 4 months as IQSC coordinator from 2017 to 2022, I think, 22. And during my tenure as IQSC coordinator, Andhra University has gone for NAC, and we have got a very good score of 3.74 out of 4. This is all because of the authorities, the visionaries who led that particular university during that time, the then administration during NAC, and the senior professors' guidance, and every professor, every teaching, every non-teaching, and every student have contributed their part to this great university, Rajesh. No doubt about it. So all these positive things I have just sat there, that's all. No doubt I have worked. No, I'm not telling that I did not work. We have worked a lot. But Andhra University is like that. You name anything you have in Andhra University. Okay? But the problem is just to combine all those, the documentation. As an IQSC coordinator, my real challenge was documenting. And NAC or NBA, they purely work on documentation and with proofs. Doesn't mean only document you write some story and you show it to them. No, not that. Whatever you write, say, suppose for example, I have done my PhD in 2009. Show me the proof. Okay, I have published 10 papers. Yes, show me the proof. So, and Andhra University had 64 departments with nearly thousands of students, achievements. Okay, 13 research centers, one AHUB, one Siemens centers, skill centers, one human HRD center, academic staff, you name anything, you have it in Andhra University. So gathering information from all the sources, from all the professors. See, Andhra University being 100 years old university, stalwart professors are there in Andhra University. Very prominent and eminent professors are there in university. they are not only famous in the state nor in the nation, but internationally also they are acclaimed. Okay, so gathering information from all these people, that is the only challenge which I have faced. And no doubt with the support of, again I'm telling you, all the authorities and these professors and all. And we need to have patience. Another characteristic any IQAC coordinator should have is patience. Okay, so with that, I was able to overcome all this particular stuff. And for any university or educational institution, IQAC is the main organ through which anything will happen. Okay, so keeping that such an unit of any HEI, higher education institution, alive and active is the main job of an IQAC coordinator. So I'm happy that I have successfully done my part as coordinator. Thank you for asking this question, IQAC. Now I'm not the IQAC coordinator.
Yes, ma'am.
I
We know
am
how
now. Pardon?
we know how you have worked day and night for the success of the university in getting all the credentials for the university.
Yeah. Thanks to the then Vice Chancellor, registrars, deans, NAC members, NAC peer committee members, staff, everyone. Yes, we have worked hard. And hard work always pays, as they say, and you can see the result.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, which is a record.
Yes, ma'am. It's a record.
Yes.
So, thank you so much, madam. Like, I have so many questions from so many dimensions, but it will be going on like if
Yeah.
number of series kind of thing, because we have fixed for a certain amount of time, and you have really given us
Okay.
lots of knowledge in this given time. Thank you so much, madam. I know you are very busy, and you are managing all the things in the best possible manner. Even then, you have spared your valuable time for us and guided us. Really, this session, whichever we have discussed, the pointers will be very useful for all the research community and all the academic staff who are working in the colleges and universities. Thank you so much, madam. Again, once again, thank you so much for spending your valuable time.
Hopefully, I think I have given at least a bit of information for all those who are who will be hearing this podcast or who have heard this particular. Who will be hearing the podcast. And again, once again I thank you, Rajesh. And as you told, we should not bore the audience. Half an hour is maximum time. Good. Next time, if at all time permits, we can do another session like this. And again, thank you and all the best for all of us.
Thanks.